Shiv Sena is the party that has the strongest base here, that the AIMIM is the party that has an elected MP from here. It is Raj Thackeray and the MNS that the crowd that is assembled at the Sanskriti Krida Mandal Maidan wants to see right now. 15,000 people are permitted to be here as part of this, but there are up to almost 1 lakh people who are visiting from different corners of the state, and so there is a very large situation on hand where the police has to stop just about so many people, hundreds of them who don't have passes. Perhaps they'll be let in a little later once the situation calms down. But for now, we can tell you, in the blazing mid-afternoon, late afternoon summer heat in Marathwada, in Maharashtra, the expectation and the atmosphere is heavy and dense because they expect Raj Thackeray to make a very, very Raj Thackeray-esque and Bhadkau Bhashan type speech, which will both send the political point across and also entertain the people here, because they have come from far and wide. They have tremendous respect for him, and that is because they have heard him for so many years. There is an oft-told story about this ground, which is that Balasaheb Thackeray, the Shiv Sena co-founder and patriarch and supremo, the late Balasaheb Thackeray, had addressed a very crucial rally in the year 1988, 33 and a half years ago, at this very venue, and that had catapulted the Shiv Sena to various holding in municipal corporations. And now Maharashtra is again on the cusp of key municipal corporation elections in Pune, in Pimpri Chinchwad, in Aurangabad, in Mumbai. They're all coming up, and then you have the Lok Sabha elections, and then you have the assembly elections. And so that is why the MNS has picked its time. This is not going to be the last rally, but this is certainly a very, very critical one. Also, given the ultimatum over loudspeakers that has been issued, we had the situation just a couple of weeks ago where 4 MNS workers were arrested for playing the Hanuman Chalisa and reciting it in front of Shiv Sena Bhavan. They now plan to do it on May the 3rd before all the mosques if the loudspeakers are not taken down. And so that sets the stage for this rally. We're going to be covering it. We have the best vantage point. Shivangi, back to you. We'll be back with more updates.
Right, Ankit, we can clearly see that. We can clearly see that vantage point that you have. Just a short while back, we can see that the people are also, filling up the place. Lot of people we can see are gathering there at Aurangabad for that major rally by MNS chief Raj Thackeray. Now, I want to go straight across to our senior executive editor Abhishek. Abhishek, now this rally is going to be a political game changer.
Well, absolutely. And remember, this deadline of May 3 is just day after tomorrow, Shivangi. And Raj Thackeray has said that this is a government of bhogis and not yogis. He was obviously comparing the conduct of the Maharashtra government in limiting, for example, loudspeakers at temples to 50 meters beyond any mosque. Vis-a-vis what Yogi government has done, very amicably handled it. And in a classic example of true secularism, got every religious place irrespective of the denomination, so be it the temple, mosque or Gurudwara, got the loudspeakers either removed or their decibel levels brought down. So in a way, that's a political challenge for Uddhav Thackeray to really handle now. If he blinks, he cedes the Hindutva space to Raj Thackeray. If he does not blink, he presents an example of bad governance perhaps, where he cannot manage something which can be so easily done by the political executive. So in that sense, I think Raj Thackeray has really thrown the gauntlet at the Shiv Sena particularly, and of course the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government also, in a classic test of secularism for the government there. Remember the order that came from the Uddhav government earlier clearly mentions that whatever religious singing happens, that has to happen beyond 50 meters of mosques, and there are no restrictions on the noise levels coming out of the loudspeakers at the mosques 5 times a day. So I think that's a challenge. Raj Thackeray saw it fit as an issue to pick up, and he has thrown the challenge at the Uddhav government. And as I said, there is a template available of Uttar Pradesh. The question is whether Uddhav Thackeray would cede that space, seem to be blinking, and thus ceding the space to, or giving the space to Raj Thackeray. And I think that's the battle essentially about the Hindutva vote bank that's panning out between the Thackerays. Essentially, this is a Thackeray versus Thackeray happening, Shivangi. And there is still some time before the next assembly elections. I stand corrected, it's in 2024. But what is important is that Raj Thackeray is building up his profile. Raj Thackeray is creating his own constituency that comes at the expense of Shiv Sena. Because this kind of strident Hindutva we have seen being professed by Shiv Sena, except for the last couple of years when it has been in an alliance with the Congress and the NCP. So I think this is going to generate a lot of stress in the alliance government, depending on how Uddhav Thackeray really reacts. If he blinks, if he comes under stress from Raj Thackeray's politics, and this is not the first, or this is not the end of it we are seeing, this is just the beginning, which started from Pune, now in Aurangabad, and this is a big one. And if the momentum continues and Raj Thackeray keeps building on this, and if he keeps getting traction, then obviously Shiv Sena would be under stress to really respond in some manner so as not to lose its control, lose its grip over the Hindutva vote bank. So I think this is clearly Thackeray versus Thackeray panning out ahead of before us, and Raj Thackeray, they are throwing the challenge to Uddhav Thackeray on the issue of Hanuman Chalisa, on the issue of loudspeakers, and to rub it in. He has been praising Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, who has sort of set an example in how the issue could have been handled, should have been handled. At many other places across the country, we have seen Ram Navami violence panning out. UP remained an oasis of calm. And much of it is because of the instructions that were given by the Chief Minister himself to the police. So I think in that sense, Uddhav is going to be under pressure. And we'll have to see how the politics pans out from here. BJP obviously would be watching from up close. We have seen how the Shiv Sena spokesperson was saying that Raj Thackeray is clearly playing in the hands of the BJP. Obviously, they understand that this is going to benefit the BJP, but then we'll come to more on that so far as analysis goes. But then on the ground, Ankit gets us all the coverage of what's happening. I think we are still just about an hour away from that important speech that Raj Thackeray is going to make, announcing his intent to be a little more active in Maharashtra politics perhaps, and of course taking up issues which are close to the right wing in the manner that he has. Ankit, over to you. What's happening there? Give us a sense, give the viewers a sense of how close we are to that address by Raj Thackeray.
So I think we are inching closer, Abhishek, because right now what's happening is they are using the PA system here on the stage to engage with the crowd a little bit. They're raising half a chant praising Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj from the PA system, and the crowd completes the rest. Then the same, it goes on. So Maharashtra Navnirman Senatsa Jai Ho is the slogan that's going around. So